gonna be fun. We're silly.
Welcome to Super Media Runners, where we run the media to you. Season 2 of Twisted Metal has finally dropped the last few episodes on Peacock, and I just couldn't be any happier living in a world where a show about one of my favorite video games growing up is actually great. Back in July 2023, when Season 1 premiered, Peacock reported over 400 million viewing minutes in its first weekend, making it the platform's most watched comedy premiere ever. The critic consensus of the show has been mixed, but general audiences have considered it dumb, fun, and pretty heartfelt TV. But here's the thing, before all of this TV show success, Twisted Metal was supposed to turn into a full-fledged film. Flashback to February 14th, 2012, outlets like GameStop and Game Informer reported that Sony Pictures had made a seven-figure deal with director Brian Taylor. Taylor is more known for his collaborative works with Mark Neveldine in the Crank films Gamer and Jonah Hex. He was helmed to write and direct a live-action Twisted Metal movie with Avi Arad attached as producer. At that exact moment, Taylor was already in theaters with Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, starring Nicolas Cage, which released on February 17, 2012, just 3 days after the Twisted Metal movie announcement. The early reports from 2012 confirmed that the plot would obviously revolve around Calypso's underground deathmatch tournament. Two fan-favorite characters were name-dropped right away: Sweet Tooth, the killer clown ice cream truck driver, and Dollface, the masked femme fatale. Considering that Twisted Metal for the PS3 released in February 2012 at that time, it seemed like Sony was hell-bent on creating a multimedia franchise from this beloved series. And then, lots of silence. Then, September 2017, Brian Taylor finally opened up in a Collider interview about what his Twisted Metal movie would have been like. He said he wanted the movie to feel like Mad Max Fury Road years before Fury Road even came out. A full-throttle, R-rated car combat spectacle. And yes, his pick for Sweet Tooth was Nicolas Cage. So why did this movie happen? The problem was money. Taylor explained that the movie would have cost around $50 million. Too expensive for a cult action flick, but not big enough to justify a blockbuster rollout. He called it a tweener, a film trapped between scales that studios just didn't know how to market. This was still before Deadpool in 2016 proving R-rated films with recognizable IPs can thrive, and before Fury Road in 2015 showed that car combat movies could sell a lot of tickets. And yeah, I think 2012 was just the wrong time to consider this movie, especially if $50 million was proposed. Even looking at Fast 5, which released the year before, had a budget of over $120 million, more than double the proposed budget from Taylor's movie. So who knows how much a Nicolas Cage-led car combat tournament would have actually cost. And Sony just wasn't ready to take that gamble. I can still remember browsing IGN for the latest gaming news, seeing the headline of one of my favorite directors at the time helming a series I loved so dearly, only for nothing to ever happen. And consider that Twisted Metal for the PS3 is the last game to release in the series, with online servers shutting down in 2018. It really felt like Sony did not see the profit or popularity of that kind of game, and buried the IP for pretty much a decade after the fact. But fast forward to May 2019, during a Sony Investor Relations Day, PlayStation Productions officially announced that a Twisted Metal TV series was in development, and of course they got the writers of Deadpool involved as developers in the project. So full circle, really. And honestly, I'm glad it turned out this way, instead of one risky movie that might have flamed out, especially considering the track record of Brian Taylor's movies and leading man Nicolas Cage. We got a show that could expand the world, dedicate episodes to multiple characters, and keep the chaos alive across multiple seasons. It really does feel like Twisted Metal got the second chance it needed. It is clearly still profitable, and it just needs a damn game to come out for it. Seriously. But what about you? Would you have wanted to see Cage as Sweet Tooth on the big screen? Or are you happy with the Peacock series we have now? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay twisted with Super Media Runners.
Super Media Runners!